Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Repair guys. In today's video guys, we'll show you how to remove and replace the passenger side, the right side CV axle drive shaft on Ford Fiesta. This one is the ST model 2015 guys, but it will be the same for many years as well. So stay with us, we'll show you how to do that now. Don't forget that we'll have more than 200 videos on the vehicle taking everything apart, so please don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumb up, and let's start on it now. Please give a subscribe to our new channel, Electrical Car Repair Live. Quite a few videos coming there. We'll be diagnosing engine codes, airbag codes, electrical connections, computers, things like that. So the first step will be to jack the passenger or the right side of the vehicle. For you guys in England, thumbs up. You'll be the driver's side, I always get those confused. So that will need to go up, and you'll see why in just a little bit. Always make sure you use a jack stand, never ever leave it on the jack itself, because if it fails, one little bitty O-ring fails, it's going to fall on you. Also, even before you start jacking it, make sure you have the tire chokes in place, one on the front, one on the right, on the back I mean, on the rear axle, because we'll be lifting the front axle. Okay, going up, all the way up now, jack stand on. Perfect. So, we'll have to remove, okay, the drive shaft. But when we do that, we'll leak the transmission fluid out. So, we'll show you how to drain the transmission for that procedure. So, in order to drain the transmission, we'll need to get 8mm Allen wrench like that. All the tools will be listed in the description of the video below. So please check them out. If you need anything, you know how to find it. So we're under the vehicle now, and with that 8mm Allen wrench, we're going to go ahead and remove the drain plug. You can see it's by the left drive shaft there. Okay, we already got it loose. Make sure you have a gallon or something, some kind of container to collect the oil. Okay, we're almost there now. Let's see how much fluid will come out of it. And what it looks like, this fluid has only 11,000 miles on it. Okay, we did spill some, not much. So we'll just let it drain now. So we drain it. It's practically like 95% drain, we don't need to go more. That's enough. If you want, you can leave it to drain completely out for an hour. Next we'll need to remove the wheel. 19mm socket, we remove the 4 nuts. You might want to break them loose before you drag the car up, but our impact will take them off. Okay, last one now. For your safety guys, what I would recommend, put the wheel face up under the car, so if something falls, the jack stand doesn't hold. Okay, you can have the wheel catch the car. Better mess up the wheel than kill you. Okay, so we're ready to proceed with the next step. Next we'll be using the WD-40 penetrating spray. We're going to spray the nut here. You can see how rusty it is. And also we need to spray that bolt for the control arm, because we will need to remove that so we can pull the drive shaft out of the way. Okay, we will let it soak for probably 5-10 minutes and proceed. So next we need to remove the big nut on the drive shaft, and what we will recommend, to have one person inside hold the brake down all the way, really hold it down, and then I just get a cheater pipe, or we can do it with an impact. Go ahead and get the nut loose. Okay, not very complicated. Once you get it loose, okay, it will usually go by hand pretty easy after that. So let me see if I can turn it by hand now. It's just the initial part that's really tight. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and take the nut off now. Okay, the nut is out, as you can see. Next, we'll need to get the bolt for the ball joint on the control arm. On this side it's 15mm nut, and on the other side it's 13mm. Okay, so get this one loose, and before the nut comes off all the way, okay, like that, what we're going to do, we will actually hit it with the hammer. Okay, and this one is stuck really bad. So we're going to spray more penetrating oil, and we will spray right here between the two parts. And if that doesn't work, try with a 13mm to unscrew it from the back side. This bolt is recommended to be replaced every time you remove. We sprayed more penetrating oil so we can clean the rust, because that's a place where rust will build pretty bad. Okay, you can see it started moving, so eventually it will come out. Okay, so it's moving freely now. You can see all the rust that came off of it. So even though it's a 2-year-old car with 11,000 miles, it did have some rust built in there. So we'll go ahead and remove the nut now. Okay, we can pull the bolt out. Just gently tap it. Never ever hit too much to mess up the thread, even though it's recommended to get a new bolt every time. Okay, and you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, that was a rust deposit here. So we'll get a screwdriver to spread that piece there, because the ball joint goes in the hub, and when you spread it, it comes off way easier. You just have to be careful, because if you overspread it, what will happen actually, you can bend the hub. Next we'll get a pry bar, get it on the control arm. Don't put too much pressure, because you will bend the control arm. You can actually even step with your foot here. If it's too much rust, you have to move it back and forth, okay? And gently hammer on it. Okay, you can see it's out now. That ball joint is out. You can see the amount of rust is unbelievable. Okay, now we can pull it a little bit this way, and now we'll have to go ahead and remove the control arm. Next we'll get a plastic hammer, okay, and gently push, okay, the drive shaft out of there. What do we have to do? Okay, we'll have to pull the wheel to this side a little bit. Careful not to ever pull on the brake line, because if you pull too much on the brake line, you can damage it. Okay, it's still stuck a little bit, so we still need to push a little bit more on it. You can get a screwdriver in the center of the drive shaft. Okay, let's do one more time, because it got stuck towards the end. Okay, let me check now. Almost there. And we don't want to put too much pressure on the brake line, so we'll just go ahead and remove that 10mm ball that holds it to the strut. That way we'll have more slack. Okay, don't forget to install that later. Very important component. Now we have to pull more. Okay, and this one, somebody will have to push it from the other side. Okay, it's almost out. Just a little bit more. It's stuck in the wheel hub now. Okay, and you can see it came out. And we removed the intake hose right here. It has only 2 clamps, so we have all that room, and it's all in the way, because right now what we will have to do, actually, we will have to go ahead and remove that bracket that holds the CV axle, the drive shaft. Okay, it's actually a 13mm. There, we're trying to find which one it is, to remove the 2 nuts for the bracket. Okay, almost getting loose now, because the whole CV axle, I think, on this Fiesta is one whole piece all the way to the transmission. On some of them you replace just the short piece here, but on this one it's a whole piece. So you can see one of the nuts is on the bottom, and you have identical nut on top as well. Okay, this one is almost out, and in our case the car was driven through snow only one time, and you can see that we even got some rust on the suspension. Okay, let me see, I'll loosen it by hand. Okay, this is the bracket for the bearing, right here. Okay, once you get it loose, have one person pull it underneath. Okay, it's pretty heavy. And this is, guys, okay, right here, let me get it on the concrete. This is the front right drive shaft, the whole assembly with the bearing. Okay, this is the bearing right here. This is where it goes in the transmission. This is towards the wheel side. So once you get a new one, all we have to do, just install everything in reverse order that we took it apart pretty much. Make sure everything's tight, everything's in as it's supposed to. The ball joint, especially on the control arm, the bolt. Don't forget to get your brake line installed as well, the one that we removed. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and many more videos to come.